The moment you stop explaining yourself, everything changes. People start listening. People start wondering. People start respecting. Not because you became louder, not because you proved anything, but because you became silent. Silence isn't weakness. Silence isn't fear. Silence isn't losing. Silence is power that doesn't need permission. Most people talk too much. They defend too much. They explain too much. They react too fast. And because of that, they stay predictable. They stay controllable. They stay touchable. But when you master silence, you become unreadable, unmovable, untouchable. Today, you're going to understand why silence intimidates, why it protects, and why the calmest person in the room is always the most dangerous person. Stay with me. Most people think silence means nothing is happening. They are wrong. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of control. When you don't rush to speak, you force people to reveal themselves. When you don't rush to explain, you expose who was never trying to understand. When you don't rush to react, you stay in charge of the situation. Noise is emotional, but silence is strategic. Weak people react, but strong people observe. And the person who observes always sees the whole chessboard. Silence gives you time. Time gives you clarity. And clarity gives you advantage. Can you see how that turns into power? Why people fear your silence? Let's go over this. Have you ever noticed when you stop responding, some people get uncomfortable? They double text, they over explain, they start acting strange. Why? Because silence removes feedback. And without feedback, people don't know where they stand. They don't know if you are angry, they don't know if you care, they don't know if they still have access to you. Silence makes people confront uncertainty, and uncertainty terrifies the ego. Your silence forces others to question their importance, question their behavior, question their control. That is why silence feels threatening, not because you attacked, but because you didn't engage, you didn't give energy, you didn't feed the situation. You stepped out of the emotional game, and anyone who loses access to you loses power over you. Every time you overshare, you bleed in public. You tell people your weaknesses, you tell people your fears, you tell people your wounds. And some will listen to help, but others will listen to store ammunition. Silence keeps your wounds private. Silence keeps your struggles sacred. Silence protects your growth process. Because not everyone deserves front row seats to your evolution. The less people know about your inner world, the harder it is to manipulate you. Mystery is armor. Silence is that armor. Let me walk you through how silence builds inner authority. People who constantly talk often seek validation. They want confirmation. They want approval. They want reassurance. But when you are silent, you show that you validate yourself. You don't need permission to exist. You don't need applause to feel real. You don't need arguments to stand firm. That creates inner authority. Inner authority turns into outer respect, not because you demanded it, but because people feel it. Most people broadcast their emotions. You know when they are angry. You know when they are insecure. You know when they are hurt. That makes them easy to predict. Silence erases that. When people can't read you, they can't play you. You don't know what affects you. They don't know what bothers you. They don't know what motivates you. So they move carefully. They hesitate. They think twice. Uncertainty creates respect. Predictability creates exploitation. Silence makes you unpredictable. Unpredictable people are hard to control. Drama survives on reaction. No reaction equals to no fuel. Arguments need two participants. If you refuse to emotionally show up, the fight dies. Not because you lost, but because you refuse to waste energy. Silence says, I'm not available for this. That silence alone is elite. It stops being pulled into nonsense. You stop lowering yourself. You stop explaining to people who already decided not to understand you, because peace becomes your default state. Peace is expensive. Only disciplined people can afford it. Here's what happens when you master silence. People start watching you. They study you. They wonder what you are thinking. They project their insecurities onto you. They assume you know something they don't, and often you do, because while they are talking, you are observing. While they are flexing, you are preparing. While they are proving, you are building. Silence shifts power from mouth to mind, from ego to awareness, from reaction to intention. That's a massive upgrade. Let's be clear, silence is not submission. You can be silent and still walk away. You can be silent and still set boundaries. You can be silent and still choose distance. Silence doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means you don't debate your worth. You don't negotiate your value. You don't explain why you deserve respect. You move differently. Your movement speaks louder than words ever could. When you embrace silence, you become calmer, you become sharper, you become more self aware. You stop reacting emotionally and you start responding intentionally. You stop seeking attention, you start attracting it. You stop chasing validation, you start commanding presence, not by force, not by noise, but by energy. Quiet energy, stable energy, grounded energy. That energy is rare, and rare things are valuable. Do you know why most people can't handle silence? Most people are addicted to noise. They need stimulation. They need reactions. They need constant engagement. Silence forces you to sit with yourself, your thoughts, your fears, your truths. That's uncomfortable. So they avoid it. But you learn to live there. And once you are comfortable alone, you become unstoppable because nothing outside you controls your state anymore. The goal isn't to become cold. The goal is to become centered, not detached from humanity, detached from chaos. You still feel, you still care, you just don't advertise it. You protect your energy, you protect your peace, you protect your focus. And that's maturity, that's power, and that's evolution. Silence won't make everyone like you. Silence will make the right people respect you. Silence will make the wrong people reveal themselves. Silence will make you untouchable, not because you are hiding, but because you have mastered yourself. And self mastery is the highest form of power.